Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sunday Reading. This is episode 4, and in this episode we're going to be talking about On Sunny Days, which I have here in front of me. On Sunny Days was published in 2016. I've got some information on it here. Published in 2016 by Lauren Wansker. It was printed by Conveyor Arts, New Jersey, and it's an edition of 100. I picked On Sunny Days up when I was in New York a couple months ago. I stumbled into the Quimby's bookstore there that has a lot of fantastic publications, all from independent publishers, be it the individual or small publishing kind of house, which is more like what you see here. If you don't know of Quimby's, they have one location in Chicago and one location in Brooklyn. Both are absolutely phenomenal. The Chicago one's a little bit bigger, has a little bit bigger photography section as well, if that's what you're interested in. So I strongly encourage you check them out. Quimby's also accepts zines, so if you have any publications that you want to submit or want to get into a retailer, you can download a form from their website where you will simply fill it out, send it to them along with a few copies of your publication. I believe it's up to 4, and they'll sell it for you. So really a great way to get some of your work into a store if you're interested. So getting back into On Sunny Days from Lauren Wansker, I apologize if I'm not exactly pronouncing the name correctly, last name there correctly. As the title implies, it's all photographs taken on bright sunny days. So this as a series falls into that kind of architecture that we've talked about. We touched on it briefly in the first episode with Caleb Jenkins' American Eclipse, in that a series that embodies itself within a singular event or a singular moment. In this case, it's a multitude of moments, but all tied together through very similar circumstances. So there's no real information presented about the photographs themselves, other than the fact that they were shot on sunny days, which is redundant in a good way. It describes to you exactly what you can expect as you go to open it, and the mindset potentially that Lauren was in as she was photographing all of these images and putting together this publication. So, as per usual with Sunday Reading, I've marked a few of the pages here, a few of the photographs. I won't show the entire book, simply out of respect for the photographer, and so that you, as a viewer, if you go and you pick one of these up, you'll get to experience it for yourself, as you really should. I'll include some information about Lauren in the description below, as well as a link to her website. I don't believe you can purchase this anymore, because it was an edition of 100. I'm pretty sure it's sold out, but if I'm able to dig up a place to buy them, I'll include them here. So, jumping in, as there's no formal introduction, you can see it just goes right to photographs. I wanted to get to the first image that I selected. A lot of her photographs take up this same type of format, and that is to say, they're right justified in a way. Very rarely is there anything going on the left, both in terms of individual photographs sitting on this page or subject matter. You can see that every aspect of this photo, despite crawling over onto the left page, the arrow, this painting on the pavement here, the light streak, the focus, everything is all on the right side of the page. And I'm sure that was an intentional design decision by Lauren. Unfortunately, for me, and this is potentially this is an inability on my part. I haven't entirely been able to decipher the reasoning behind it, whether it was purely an aesthetic personal preference or if there's some deeper meaning. So if you, as I go through this, if you think of anything that strikes you as to why every photograph would be right justified, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. So as we get into it, again, the title makes it very clear what you can expect on sunny days. The full color photographs come through incredibly well. They're printed absolutely phenomenally. The paper is a matte paper. I don't want to get into the technical aspects of this publication too much. I do want to focus it on the images. Lauren's photographs are very straightforward. Everything about them focuses your eyes solely on the subject. There's a singular point in each frame where you're intended to look, and she's brought that to you just very clearly. You're not often guessing or wandering around. Your eyes don't move back and forth between potential subjects. There's a path to follow and a destination within each photograph. In this one, it's up here. It's where this light streak actually starts, at least for me anyway. I find the arrow cuts across. You have a very, very nice crack in the sidewalk that actually goes both horizontal and vertical, but on the vertical line, it's running almost parallel to the light streak and pushing you up into this shadow caused by the gate from the sun, which leads you into the light streak itself. And so your focal point really sits there. I found it to be a wonderful image, and this type of image, this type of structure that you see within Lauren's work is pervasive throughout the entire publication. So if we go to our next photo here, pull this up. This is probably my favorite photograph in the entire publication. It's simply such a striking combination of color, of absurdity. I'll bring it in a little bit closer here since there's nothing on the opposite page. The tie-in between the grass that's extending from the sidewalk and going into the same tonality of the watermelons. I absolutely love it. I wish I had more to say about it and the reasoning behind it. But for me, it's really simply a matter of enjoying the content that's being provided to me. The striking contrast of the red, how different it is, and honestly, how unnatural it is. You see within the watermelon itself these white kind of striations that remind me a lot of like a steak. And as I look at that, and as I see the unnatural kind of a strangeness to the thought of a steak being inside of a watermelon, that sentiment is then mirrored in the watermelon itself existing on the sidewalk. And I don't entirely know where all of that comes from for me, but I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a wonderful image, and I wish I could get my hands on a print. Let's go to my third selection here. Oops. So this photograph is one of the few that is a portrait orientation. It takes up the majority of a single page, and so much of that I feel is emboldened by the subject matter of the photograph, with such long and intense lines, both going at a 45-degree angle with the wire itself, and then the chain link fence kind of blocking that runs the full length of the image. The subject really comes through for me, and I apologize as it looks like it's a little bit tough to see on the screen here, so I'm going to get in a little bit closer and see if you can see. You have a couple of plants here, all dead. A little piece of trash in there. But this kind of triangle that exists between these three plants is really what I'm focused on. We see such a variance, such a unique shadow that wraps itself around from one plant to the next, culminating in this very centered focal point here. There is some stuff on the background that I find balances the images, this image. It gives it a weight and a little bit more of a context. And actually, as you can kind of see, if I pull it further back here, and if you can almost defocus your eyes, you might see what I'm talking about. No longer are we looking about this as kind of a plane, but we're seeing it as a multi-dimensional cutout of real life. We get other semblances of that with this single shadow right here that tells us there's something else that exists beyond this frame. We don't know what's causing that shadow. It might be a tree, it might be a post, could be any number of things. And I absolutely love this photograph. And the last one that we'll get to here today. Oops. Mark that on. Last one we get to is this another fruit. The ability for both fruits to exist in here, one whole and one incomplete, it blows me away. I do actually have to wrap this up as my camera's about to die, unfortunately. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and tune back every Sunday morning for Sunday readings, where I'll go over self-published works from independent photographers. Follow me on social media. I've included links below, and I've included links for Lauren as well, where you can look at more of her work. Thank you.